now a lot of content coming out is AI, and we can't even trust video to an extent sometimes. Being weird is actually a way to show that the post is genuine.
It's normal, it's easy. We got our phones in our pocket. He's just talking into the phone, saying what's happening in his day. And it's content, and it's relevant.
This is Hospitality Huddles, bringing you the best conversations in hotel food and beverage.
Manage, lead, coach, repeat.
Every time I think of hospitality, I think of friendship. Hospitality allows you to be you.
Here we are in the Vobos offices. We're in a new setting, Bal, for Hospitality Huddles bite-sized episodes. I mean, I wasn't expecting this when Adam Foreman, our good friend from Captive Wi-Fi, said, you want to speak to these guys at Vobos, right? What an amazing setting.
Hey, mate, this is an upgrade from Zoom in our house, right?
Isn't it just?
Damn.
It's good.
Yeah.
So we're going to smash out some episodes while we're here.
Yep.
First one we're going to do, now we're back, is we're going to talk about why we've taken a pause from Hospitality Huddles just for a little bit.
Been a tad busy.
But also we've been doing a little bit of rethinking about what Hospitality Huddles needs to be.
Of course.
And I guess it's important, isn't it, sometimes, to take stock of where you are and sometimes hit the pause button, reassess, relook at the strategy and start again, which is exactly what we've done with Hospitality Huddles, where we were ready to go with a rebrand. We did a bit of a rebrand in terms of where we changed with Auden.
Yeah.
And now it was like, let's just rethink how we bring as much value to people as possible. It's important.
Yeah, the good thing, well, not the good thing, one thing that stands out, you just said, take stock. And we've just managed to, this week, and the back end of last week, take some stock from what we've been doing, which is what this episode is about, right?
Yeah.
And taking stock and going, okay, let's rethink. It's good to have a break. Some of it was intentional. I guess some of it was by default.
Yeah.
I don't think we meant to have this much of a break. However, it served us well, I think.
I think it has. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come back, and we've had a real think about what guests we want to invite onto the show, and we're going to try and go bigger and better with the people we're bringing on. Not that we didn't have great people on. We had people on like Troy Hooper, CEO of Pepper Lunch, 500 restaurants around the world. Man. We had Sean Walchef on there. We had Steve Turk. We've had Garin Dart. We've had Wojciech V. We've had some amazing people. But what we want to do now is change the thinking slightly. And we want to bring people who think differently.
100%.
Sometimes we don't want to pick people who are in the industry. We want to look at people who are thought leaders, who are producing content that makes us think more. And I think that's what's going to be really important. And we want to start talking to hoteliers who are maybe changing the game a little bit as well. And I've already done some interviews with some boutique hoteliers, with some smaller independent brands who are really putting F&B at the forefront of what they do to try and take some of those learnings from it, which is quite exciting, I think, to kind of give it a little different injection to really drive value for everyone who can be bothered to download or tune into what we're doing.
I couldn't agree more. All the people you've mentioned, proper A-listers in my eyes. And we're not saying you're not diminishing what they are online, but the hotelier thing, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think we need more of them. And I think we get the right people because there is some good stuff happening out there, especially in that boutique world.
For sure.
And we've been on a few trips recently. I mean, we were both in Lisbon at the same time. And we've had different experiences of what hospitality and accommodation looks like. And then recently I was in Paris and you was in Bulgaria. So we got lots of, I think, stepping out, and the differently thing is super important.
It is.
You know?
It is. And then from this bite-sized episodes, what are we going to give people? Because we wanted to change this a little bit as well, right? What we were doing before was we were looking at bits that we'd put on LinkedIn. We were looking at how to bring value and go quite granular. But we also wanted on this bite size to apply a little bit of different thinking into some of the topics. Again, trying to look as much as we can at what we do and how we're doing things and how we're going through different journeys, but also people who aren't in the industry or examples not in the industry as well, to try and make these little 10-20 minute bite-sized episodes as much value as possible. And these were the ones, ironically, that used to get the most views.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to live up to on this one.
Yeah, I think that the slightly different approach, I would say, I think the ones we did previously, probably a little tactical, right? Actual people in hospitality would get them more.
Yeah.
I think our approach probably needs to be a little bit more broad. So people who are outside hospitality, because the principles in a lot of business sectors remain the same about what we talk about, methods, thinking differently, approaching strategy, this kind of thing. We just want to add value and get people interested. And hopefully we're interested enough and our voices ain't too boring.
We'll try.
Yeah, we'll try. And I think that's important to make sure it helps us get the right message out about what we're trying to do as Auden, how we approach things. We do go granular, we do go into detail, and I think that could be helpful for people who are trying to do what we're trying to do, or even people who are outside the industry who are thinking, how can I apply that to my sector, my business life?
I think you're right.
And there's also, I guess, some personal gems in there. I think we've both been on a bit of a personal journey the last few years. It'd just be nice to get that across if we can.
I think it'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now, one thing that you said to me, which I want to touch on towards the end of this, is we were walking through the tube and we were talking about Michelle. We were talking about Michelle and some opportunities she had to get some content on different things she was working on.
Yep.
And I was laughing as we were talking about it, not because of what we were talking about, but more because we're suddenly starting to look at what we do in very different eyes. And when I was laughing, I said to you, do you know what? The language we're starting to use has changed. And a lot of that, I think, is down to the fact that now we're trying to do everything video first, and we're looking at how we can show people what we do and how we do it. And you kind of said on that we're now seeing the eyes through as being creators. Like, talk to me a bit more about that, because I think this is a great example for hotel F&B people to not start looking at their operation as operators, looking at it a bit more creative, looking at it a bit more strategically, and looking at how they can make content out of everything they're doing. Because it resonated quite a bit with me what you said, because I think that's exactly what we do. And I think, listen, if I show people now, we can cut to it when Ethan does the edits. But if you look there, we've got a little Osimo Pocket 3 that we've just bought that's sitting there now on Ace's table, recording everything behind the scenes, because we want to start doing a bit of a vlog that shows what we're doing out and about and kind of giving value. So I've waffled quite a bit.
No, that's fine.
But tell
that's fine.
people why we're now thinking more creatively and looking at opportunities in everything that we do.
I think the first thing is where we were.
Yeah.
We still are. We are operators.
Yeah.
We think like operators, like we're running a business, like we're running a restaurant, a floor, a hotel, whatever it may be. And with that comes an element of system and process. And we can get stuck in it, and we got to do it this way, and we're not thinking so creatively. Our work and the clients we've been dealing with over the past 18 months has led us to go, hang on, we need to see it a little differently. And then we look at, we both are on podcasts. Michelle is on, we're watching videos, YouTube, and we're seeing what they're doing, and we're going, actually, it's normal, it's easy. We got our phones in our pocket. Let's take it out, and like one of the references we used was the Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Right? He's just talking into the phone, saying what's happening in his day. And it's content, and it's relevant. And it's talking about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes, he's got like a strategy and all that sort of stuff, but he's talking about everything. So I think when we are now being more creative, we are thinking and actively looking for an opportunity. Just walking up here now, we've got B-roll.
Yeah.
We've just been talking about me on Google Maps, Chat GPT.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have done that 18 months ago.
No.
I don't think. It's at the forefront, and video is, and YouTube is a big thing now. It's always been big, but it's more so how content is made. Is it authentic? Is it real? Can people relate? And at the beginning, it doesn't matter, does it? If they can or not.
I mean, I was listening to Chris Do on the way in this morning. He's got a podcast called The Future.
Yeah.
And he was talking to a lady who was going on about now a lot of content coming out is AI. And we can't even trust video to an extent sometimes. Being weird is actually a way to show that the post is genuine.
Correct.
When I looked at Stephen Bartlett, and I remember sending it to you and Ethan, and it's the reason we bought this Pocket 3,
Yep.
is that's how he films it. But because it's a little bit raw, because it's a bit shaky, because it's showing you in his house behind the scenes, it's showing you unedited footage versus what you're going to see now on this video, that's not AI. And I think what we can do in that place is show the guests and the clients that we're working with or potentially going to work with what we're like under the bonnet, because we're showing the authenticity, we're showing when we can't get Google Maps to work, we're showing what we do, we're going to show some of the strategy bit that we're going to go do after we're recording this. And I think that's what I take away from that. And I was watching it again last night on the tube home, because I just think that the way that they produce that is so strong that I feel like I understand him more and his team more and his strategy more and the way he wants to do things more, because I'm seeing under the bonnet. And I think that's the inspiration that we're taking right now through some of that content, is how do we do that? We did a day in the life with you and bits and pieces. And I think if we can create stories out of nowhere, F&B people, hotel people, kitchen people, with all the stories that are going on.
So many stories.
The bartenders making preps, the chefs doing production, talking about ingredients, a night on the pass where you just have timelines and you have tickets going through. You know, I did a YouTube Shorts that got like 3,000-4,000 views, and it was literally taking a shot through the lights in Noreen of the restaurant being busy, and that's all it was. It was just noise. But it just goes to show how much content is out there and what you're showing. Like, there's no bad content in essence, right?
No, like the AI thing's important, and it has its place. We use AI to do stuff for us. The difference, and I think the distinction is, it's real.
Yeah.
The Stephen Bartlett thing is real. It's him. Like, it's unedited in some ways. Yes, it's put together by his production team when it goes out there into YouTube with the thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. However, it's that's what resonates. That's what gets you. And us doing things on the past, people in F&B will go, oh, we know what that feels like. We know what it feels like to get slammed on the pass, or we know what a restaurant opening's like, the chaos, all of that sort of stuff. And capturing them moments, you're in it. You might as well get it. You do it. And the stories in F&B, the stories in a restaurant or a hotel, as soon as you walk into the building, that's when the stories just go explode. But there's stories on the way to work. What you got to do, have you got an event, you know, who's coming in, VIPs, you got a senior leadership visit, it goes on. So the authenticness of it is massively important, and the realness. And this is what my first my own blog I did in Paris.
Yeah.
I've never done that before. I would never do it. You know, I'm not camera shy, but it's just going, I just think it seems a little bit, excuse the French, a little bit wanky, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at me. You know, I'm not one for selfie sticks, but I've got this gimbal because that's where our head is now. And it's relevant, and it makes sense. It's important for sure.
So, on our YouTube channel, you're going to get to see all sorts. You're going to get to see production. You're going to get to see raw, authentic, unedited, put together films of our travels, of our days in the lives, taking you on the journeys of what we do. And we're going to bring more value on this bite-sized episodes,
For sure.
and definitely on the people that we're speaking to. I've already got 6 or 7 episodes recorded, and there's some absolute beauties in there. So stick with us. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep engaging with the content, because we want to hear more of what you want from us. And yeah, what else is there to say?
Not
That's
too much.
episode 1 of the relaunch done.
We're back.
See you next week.
You've been listening to Hospitality Huddles, brought to you by Auden Hospitality. If you want to revisit clips from this or previous episodes, make sure you visit our YouTube channel at Auden Hospitality. Thank you for listening to the show. See you next time.